You're a little close.
Hold his hand.
Get away. So first tell me, because I don't know, is like, what exactly is a semi-pro basketball team?
Do you want me to break that down, Mario, or do you want to break it down?
I guess I can kind of break it down. It's semi-pro is like right in between. I would say like it's like another version of college kind of basketball. You know what I mean? It still gives you a shot, maybe not to hit the NBA, but still be able to hit like G League and like professionally overseas.
Yeah.
So you still have a chance to get some looks. It's for people who are still like super passionate about playing, but feel like there's no one looking at them still, you know. So semi-pro gives them a chance to still be looked at by scouts from like overseas, and there's still people who grab contracts and are able to, you know, to go play in like Lithuania or Germany or Canada or whatever, you know, even if it's just for a season.
They get paid pretty good too once you hit that level?
Yeah, it just depends. Like sometimes they'll start you off pretty small if they're not sure how you're going to play. But then if you get out there and you're dope, they'll drop some coins to keep you overseas.
Well, I've heard of some like NBA players who just have gone overseas, you know, afterwards. And I mean, they make pretty, you know, they seem to be happy out there.
Yep. You got to think of like, what's that dude's Taco, whatever.
Are you talking about the tall dude?
Yeah.
Like 7'3",
Yeah.
7'4"?
So he's in a different country. I forget where he's at right now, but he's destroying it out there. You know, and they're paying him really good. He didn't do good in the NBA, but he's doing crazy out there. So it's just same thing with all of them. Before they even retire, they all hit overseas. Iverson hit overseas. A lot of them do.
Stephon Marbury.
Yep, and they still make bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like just realistically, not everybody can be in the NBA.
Right, exactly.
I guess I'm trying to relate it to like what I watch. I watch UFC. Not everybody can make it in the UFC, but some go to PFL, some go to this, some go to that. Like, yeah.
So if you think about it like as the NBA, there's only like 400 spots. So, but you got to
really? That's it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's so much talent out in the world that you're not going to make a roster. You're not going to get drafted out of college. So this is that next level if you're still trying to do something with it or if you just like to compete.
Yep.
And that's the best thing about it is if you are a hooper, you can get down, you can play with the system, then you still have a chance because there are overseas teams that are looking for people that can play and contribute to a team.
I'm sure there's a lot of people on your guys' level, and you're like, damn, if somebody just found out about this guy.
Yep.
Oh, shit, we got some on our team.
Right now. That's why I even decided to create a basketball team through my brand just because we were dominating just the rec scene. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, man, some of these guys are like crazy hoopers. So it's like, well, what can I do? Create a platform that somebody will look at them and then, you know, maybe take them to the next level. So that's why I started the team. And so now I'm just looking at all the players we have. And if I can get somebody a shot to go play overseas and rep my brand, you know,
why not?
I'm going to do that all day.
Where do you guys normally play at?
We play in Greenwood Village at Pickup USA. It's off of pretty much I-25 and Arapahoe Road.
Okay, cool.
Yep, that's like our home base court. Sometimes we might have some games at the this place called the Basketball Social House. It just kind of depends on.
Have you guys ever heard of it? It's you guys been to Topgolf or at least heard of Topgolf?
Yeah.
It's the basketball version of Topgolf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's legit. It's like everything basketball. So you go in there, you can throw a whole party and have a basketball court and have a 3-point shootout at a birthday party or whatever
cool.
you guys are doing.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they have a bar you can drink. We had a function there a few weeks ago and we hooked up the Xbox.
Yeah,
we were playing Tekken.
We won the Colorado Basketball League tournament.
In-season tournament.
We destroyed all the teams, and then so to celebrate, I just took the guys to the Basketball Social House, and we had like a whole event room to ourselves and just kind of chilled. Had the projector screen up, played some Street Fighter and just kick back, man. And so it's dope. It's a dope place to go.
What inspired you to do that? If you don't mind me asking, have you always just been like kind of like Were you already trying to grow your brand? Did you already have that brand before the team, and you're just like, this is kind of like this is a cool opportunity where I can do both?
Yeah, I Get Money's been around like just before COVID. It started out more for fitness because that's just what I do. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym like 24/7. So when I started this, it was just mainly for that, just for fitness. And then I met a couple of guys and we were hooping and things like that. And I met some solid guys that just rock with me for like season after season after season in the rec leagues. And so in order to grow the brand, I just decided one day, like, okay, I'm going to sign us up again, but I'm going to sign us up under I Get Money. Mm-hmm. And then that blew up because people are like, yeah, I like the name of that team.
Just sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but really, I Get Money is not even about money. It's about health. Mm-hmm. So I call our bodies bank accounts, and the money is what we do, like whether it's working out or what we're eating or, you know, what we're watching, all of that's money. And so that's what I translate getting money into, is just like whatever I'm putting into my body, that's money.
Well, it literally is too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you only get one.
So pretty much whenever we work out, we do anything, like the team will post a story, just made a deposit.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But that's where it came from.
And actually our backstory is pretty crazy how we went from rec to semi-pro. Like it's pretty wild how we did it.
I have a fitness question for you.
Yeah.
Have you always been big, or at one point were you small?
Nope. If you believe me, my entire life until about 1999, I was your size.
He's lying.
I was your size, bro. I was.
We'll cut this out. All natty? All natty?
100%. Test it if you don't believe me. 100% my entire life natural, bro.
Because to get like from me to you, natty, it's like a thing that like 1% of people or 2% of people will ever reach. It's it's people think it's easy, bro.
It's not easy.
I've tried it so many ways for years. I gave up on bulking. I'm just gonna go do my thing and stay healthy.
A lot of it too is, bro, like people forget genetics, and so just growing up, I didn't know fully the side of my family. And my grandma, before she passed, she let me know, like, basically in my family, all my uncles and cousins are all bigger than me, so I'm the smallest one. She told me. So she said it was bound to happen for me to blow up. You just never know when it's going to happen. And so for me, it was like right out of high school, I exploded.
I was about to ask you, did you notice a specific time just after high school? You think, when all your hormones were rushing, everything kicked in, and
everything
turned
kicked
into the
in
fucking hole.
Just went Super Saiyan one day. Like,
so I was just like, as a baby, I was thick because I came out as like 9 pounds, 10 ounces. But then I thinned out immediately. And then just 99, it just...
Because you're tall, but you're big, so you don't look. So you're tall.
Yeah. So it just happened one day. I didn't realize it until people that I recognized didn't recognize me. Mm-hmm. And because you carry yourself around, you don't know until you walk up on somebody and they're just like, "Bro, what happened to you?" And you're just like, "Nothing, I'm good."
With the natural route, would you agree with me that if you're not taking it 100% serious, you can also be hurting yourself?
Yeah.
Trying to get like big like you could even possibly end up in a hospital or kill yourself?
Not possibly, 100%. And so like the people that I train and even my team, bro, I tell them it's not even about how much weight you lift. It's not about moving as much weight around as possible. It's really like technique, form, and you got to lift and work out with the purpose. If you're just going in to work out to, everybody's thing is to lose weight or to get big, that's not a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's days you probably curl with like 15s, and it's like, what's this? They don't get it. They don't understand what you're doing.
And I get people looking at me crazy all the time, but I'll work out with my shoulders and I'll use 10-pound dumbbells, and people are just like, he's sweating like crazy. And it looks funny because you have this giant dude with these little weights in his hand, but I'm working out with a purpose.
Shoulder raises, if they're done right, 10 is a lot.
Yeah. So I don't lift over certain exercises. I won't lift over 20 pounds. You know what I mean? I focus it. I know which muscles I'm trying to grow. And even with training them, I tell them the same thing. It's about form. It's about technique, and just,
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I've tried a lot of routes, and the only time I noticed a big change where I was like 35 pounds heavier than what I am now was when I did a cycle of test.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I think maybe naturally. Do you have high testosterone naturally?
No. So in order to, like, as you get older, so I'm 43. So as you get older, obviously that stuff kind of like calms down. So you have to figure out, I had to figure out some natural stuff because I was looking at like those different pills and
SARMs and all that.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, man, I don't want to put that in my body because there's so many side effects that you just don't know what it's going to do to you.
Yeah.
And so I started looking at the natural stuff like sea moss, ashwagandha, even something simple as pineapple, bro. Pineapple helps with testosterone and all that kind of stuff, bro. So just
There's a lot of natural remedies you can go, huh?
yeah, so I started doing that. I'm like, well, that's stuff I can buy in the store easily and just eat and not think about it. And so I started doing that, especially like sea moss. Bro, sea moss is like probably the best thing that I've ever decided to take in my life. And that plus working out consistently, my testosterone shot through the roof, bro. I'm like you know what I mean?
I can't build muscle, bro. Maybe if I try natural like you, or that's maybe why tests worked for me, but my numbers are pretty known naturally. But it could be that before I did that, I wasn't like, I was smoking a lot of weed. I wasn't taking good care of myself. Maybe like if I actually like had a healthy diet at the time, might have been different. But
right.
I tried the natural route and I did get bigger, but like obviously I noticed a big difference with tests. Like it was immediate.
Yeah, I mean
like,
those things. I'm not saying that they don't work. It's just it's scary to me, you know, because like for some people it works and for some people it does like damage, and sometimes it's like, you know, it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it turns into like one of those things that happen later on down the line, you know what I mean? And your body's like slowly deteriorating and you don't know, and then you end up like, you know, what's that dude's name? Ronnie whatever.
Or that fucking Russian dude, that the one who used to flex his chest all crazy.
Yeah.
He died like at 30.
Yep.
But that dude had to be on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was eating like 8 cups of coffee in one meal a day.
Well, you got to remember too, like they don't tell you. I only met one guy in a supplement store that told me the truth. And he's like, if you take this, you're going to have to take this in order to counteract those side effects that's going to do to you. And then he said, on top of that, you're going to have to take something for that one. And he said, it just goes down the line to where you have this whole supplement, you know, routine that you got to do in order to counteract. And he's like, that takes a toll on you, bro. So he's like, if you're doing that kind of stuff and you're like competing and whatever, cool. But he's like, if you're just taking it just because, he's like, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. And so, I compete here and there, but I'm just like, I'd rather compete naturally and stay, you know, healthy and feel good. Like I said, I just turned 43, so
you don't look 43 at all, dude. I was guessing like maybe 32, 30, like our age.
And I get that a lot, but it's just, and that's natural because if I was taking all of those things, it would
probably would have fucked you up. Yeah. Well, that's one reason I stopped, and maybe that's also why I noticed a big change right away. Because when I did it, I didn't just go buy tests. Like I got a doctor, I got a fitness counselor, and a diet going, and I blew up fucking quick. Yeah, I was the biggest I've ever been. I'm like a skinny motherfucker, so for me to weigh 200 pounds, I was like, fuck, I look like, amazing. Yeah, but I realized it's a lifestyle I can't keep up. Yeah, people don't realize that you can't just take testosterone and go sit on the couch. Nope, you have to be on point with your water. You have to be on point with your diet. Even if you're not shitting the right amount of times a day, something's up. Yep. You know, like if you're not peeing the right amount of times, something's wrong already. Yep. And like you're saying, I was like, I can't keep this lifestyle up.
No, it has to be something you really want, bro. And so like with me, like doing all of this stuff is why I decided to even come out. Dropping before the end of May is my own supplement brand because I want people to know that there's like some natural ways to do it, and then use me as an example. I'm not in perfect shape, you know what I mean? I have some areas that I'm still working on, but just for people to know that it's possible to do it naturally and look good and still feel good. So I want people to know, like, man, you could do it.
You're still on that top percentile. I know you're trying to like say it humbly, but you're still on that top percentile. I mean, bro. You know, you could deadlift a fucking car.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I've had some people ask me, you know, from some of my videos, because just real quick deadlifting, like, you know, 475, just to do it. And they're like, what's the most? And I'm just like, I haven't reached that point yet.
And then you're natural, dude. If like you took a fucking cycle to compete, you'd look like those fucking giants, like a fucking Ronnie Coleman.
Yep. I always said, though, the reason I won't do it is because I want to be able to scratch my own head and wipe my own butt.
Yeah, that's a little, and then he still can't do Ronnie Coleman's like all fucked up, bro. Like his back's all fused. He has all he can even walk around a lot.
Oh, man, I wouldn't do that to myself.
I think it was like loose here.
Oh yeah, you could hear that one going out.
You want me to replace it?
No, I think it should be good. I think it's gonna not. Yeah,
you just can't fondle it, bro.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's cool, man. I wanted to ask you some fitness questions. Thanks for answering that for me. But
yeah, no doubt. I mean, I get that a lot. It's it's one of those things like if you're gonna lift weights, you gotta think people are gonna ask you about lifting weights.
Have you scanned yourself though to see if like your bone mass has grown, or like if someone X-rayed you, do you still have like a skinny skeleton?
Yep. So I probably say it's probably been like a year since the last that I did it, because I wanted to know like the size of my arms and like my percentage of body fat and all that. I wanted just to see, and I did a like a full body scan or whatever. My skeleton is just, it's normal, but everything else around it is just, you know.
That's crazy. It's a bunch of fucking muscle everywhere.
That's it. It's weird. It's weird to look at yourself after a scan because you're like, that's me.
Yeah.
And it is, you know.
Yeah. Do you ever use or with your clients, have you ever used fitness to like recover injuries?
Yeah, so there's a couple of guys on my squad that have like some knee and shoulder injuries and stuff like that, and I tell them easily, you know, what to work on and what to do to get it back. So like one of our what position is Ray?
Ray would be like a small
center
forward
or a small forward,
or a
right?
small power forward.
Yeah, so
he's undersized.
He's the tank on our team, right?
But he's a beast.
He was having, you know, some shoulder stuff, some knee stuff, and I just told him like, hey man, you know, just simply, this is all you got to do, you know, and showed him some techniques or whatever. And like 2 weeks later, he's like, bro, you know, it's crazy. And
night and day, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just, you know, but yeah, I give a lot of people tips on how to get it to snap back. You know, there's stuff that you can eat, just normal stuff you can eat, and just like little small simple exercises that'll get your muscles back. Because a lot of people go into the gym and they just, you know, like I said, they just move weights around, but there's no purpose. And so I have a lot of guys do like isolation exercises because half of your body's weaker than the other side. So when you start having injuries, it's usually on that weak side, you know. And so I'm just telling them like small isolation exercises that have you, if you're consistent, will have you back in shape in, you know, a couple weeks. And
have you found food that can also mimic reconstruction of like tissue?
Yeah. So stuff like maca roots and ginger and ashwagandha and like all of those, sea moss, all of that stuff helps with just like regenerating all that stuff in your body naturally. And if you make it part of your routine, bro, it's life-changing.
Yeah,
it is.
And I will say this man is dedicated to his routine. It makes it so hard to invite him to a barbecue.
Yep.
Like,
well, right now you're just like, I'll take a water or a protein
no,
shake.
for real. Like our boy Martin, he hosts these barbecues all the time, and he has to make like a special diet just for Mario, like turkey burgers. Like he messed up the first time because he didn't have a diet for you.
Yeah.
Like,
and I won't eat anything.
Closest thing I have to that is like, I don't know if you can see those menus, but I go to like MyFitFoods. That's like what I consider my diet.
Yep.
They got some good stuff, but like, I mean, I know it's not enough, but like it's better than just eating a bunch of fucking cheeseburgers all day and
it
shit.
Sure is, bro. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I cut out of my diet years ago. Like I cut pork out a long time ago. Red meat I cut out years ago. Like if I eat any red meat, it might be like bison or lamb, something like that.
I know we got an argument over steaks one day. I was like, how do you not eat a steak?
Why did you do that, if you don't mind me asking? Did like someone put you on and you tried it, or you're like, my stomach doesn't feel right, I need to do something?
So it was a little bit of both. I always, if I'm going to tell anybody anything, I usually test it out on myself first. And so pork I always knew was just bad anyway. That's just bad for you.
Yeah.
Red meat, though, I just knew like after eating red meat, you get like sluggish. And I started learning that all the hormones and chemicals they put into the red meat, because, I mean, everybody eats burgers. And so I'm like, how are they keeping up with, you know, burgers? And so they're just pumping these hormones into these cows to like make them grow quick. And so that's how you have kids that are 13 that look 20 because of all these hormones. And so I'm like, man, I never felt good after eating red meat. And so when I cut it out, I just started feeling like way better when I was forced to make different choices, because when you slack and you're just like, okay, I'll eat whatever. But then when you focus and you're like, okay, I'm only going to eat this, you know, and you start making those choices, you start to realize like, man, now if I eat beef, you know, it kills me. You know what I mean? it puts me in a bad spot. So I'm just
when you were eating a lot of red meat though, were you also compounding with a lot of stuff that maybe could be bad for you with the red meat, like a lot of carbs, a lot of bread, a lot of grains, stuff like that?
Yeah, and that's a natural choice, right? Because you're like, okay, well, most red meat is consumed like in burger form or in steak form with potatoes and with
fries,
all of this. So you just could you just do like steak and nothing else, or steak and rice? Yeah, you could, but most people don't.
Yeah, most people eat it with something else. Yeah,
something else.
Because that's what I was going to get at. A big
steak.
part of my diet is literally just steak and rice.
Yep. And so when I cut out steak,
that
cut out bread a lot.
Yeah.
When I cut out steak, that cut out a lot of potatoes, and so just making that choice for red meat just kind of like automatically helped me make some better choices like all the way around.
Yeah, it shaped everything else around it. Yeah, because you're right. Like most people, like they're not eating red meat the right way. Red meat with a fucking 6-pack of beer on Friday and fucking like it's that's all sugar, right?
Yeah.
It all turns into sugar. It's pretty fucking bad for you.
Yeah. And just over the years, bro, just seeing
Want me to plug another one for you? I can. It doesn't take me long. I don't want it to fuck up. Did you make your dice or you bought one?
No, so our ex-coach, she wasn't using them, so she let me use them, and I saw like there was some stuff on there that I was like, these aren't real exercises, so I scratched them out and
sit-ups or some shit.
wrote my own exercises in there.
Nice.
Pisses me off.
And then people saw, they're like, bro, you scratched something out. I'm like, yeah, just ignore that. Just whatever it says on there, that's what we're doing.
Whatever it says.
And it makes me look like the bad guy because every time I roll, I get the worst workouts for everybody. So everybody's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Is it the worst or the best?
That's true.
It's
yeah,
like,
you got to enjoy the pain.
Yeah.
It's like
no, like we are easily the best conditioned team in the state.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because I promise you, there's no Colorado semi-pro teams that are practicing, like actually working out. When they show up to practice, if they even have a practice, you know what I mean? Like most of them haven't seen the court, except for maybe 10 minutes before the game starts. You know what I mean? We're
doing 3 hours.
I'm spending money to go rent the courts out so that we have time to actually practice and run some plays, run some drills, work out for real with some weights.
Well, you need that.
Yeah, you have to. You can't call yourself the best and then not actually like work on your craft the right way, you know? And so, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, and yeah, you don't want to exercise or do any of that, and your butt is kicked afterwards. But when you get on that court and you fight your way through the paint and make this shot, or nobody can hold you down, or you bump this guy and knock him over and you make the layup, bro, it's all worth it. You know what I mean? And we're so strong. It's just like it makes the other teams look like we're playing like high school kids, honestly.
I was about to ask you, have you ever considered in taking your brand and making like a children's team, like a child's team, like youth?
Yep, I've thought about it. I don't want to. I mean, I want to put my hands in everything, right? But I want to make sure that that what I'm doing, I have it locked down before I try to like take the next step, because we do some stuff with Boys and Girls Club, and there's a couple of videos on my Instagram where it shows like we were at the Boys and Girls Club, like working out with them and doing that. So I'll make sure I go out there and work out with the kids and stuff like that. But until I'm all the way like locked in with our semi-pro team and got us like running on all cylinders, then I'll start reaching out and grab some of these kids and.
No, that's a good way of looking at it, because if you jumble too many things,
right, then you'll drop them. Yeah,
the reason I asked is because I've thought about in the future doing something with like the youth too, with barbering, because like it sounds like I'm over dramatizing it, but like some kids are unguided and they don't really know what they're doing in high school, and they can make some poor choices, and sometimes just giving them a little hustle, it changes them a lot.
It changes them a lot, bro, and I think that you doing that and trying to start something like that is dope, because a lot of these kids have skills that we don't even know about, and you put something in their hands and they create something, and you're like, dang, I have 2 little boys, and one's 12 and one's 14, and I didn't know that they could write music. They just one day, I want to say he was like 9, and he walks up to me and he's like, Dad, I wrote this song. And I was like, what do you mean you wrote a song? How? From what?
Yeah.
And he's just
Who told you about writing a song?
Yeah, he just like, I wrote this song, but I don't have a beat to it. So he's just like rapping it to me. And then I'm like, okay, well, hold on. Let's look up a beat, and put it to it. And ever since then, he has like a catalog of songs that he writes. And so I'm like, where did that come from? And so you starting something with kids, and that might bring something else out of them. You know what I mean? What they might be artists, they might be something, and then they just need somebody,
that push.
Yep, to be like, hey, I believe in you, and you can do this. And they're like, you know what? You're right.
And even like the gratitude from that, like any kind of positive impact for a child goes a long way. And that comes from me, because I remember when I'd meet somebody that would make a positive impact on my life, I would always remember it. Just being cool with me, having a good time with me. Like, that goes a long way.
And when you're that age, sometimes you don't realize that person is in front of you till you're older. You're like, damn, that guy was really telling me some shit, and I was just blowing it off.
Yep. And then you get older, you remember it, and then you just like incorporate that into your life. Because I ran into a few people where I'm just like, bro, I don't want to hear what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're like, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then later on, you're just like, that old guy was right.
Yeah, exactly.
Only problem I've ran into that is just more like legality issues, because, for example, you can't cut hair until after high school with a license, quote unquote. I've just been having a hard time trying to figure out how I can get kids in here without getting my business in trouble.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I mean, I would just look into maybe like there's internships. There's you know you can do it like you can call them like what do they call them, like labs, or you know something to where it's just like it's not they're in here consistently working, but it's just more
maybe
like
more observation instead of actually
like
practice.
Well, I've wanted to partner with like
workshop.
schools, like where it's a accredited class. You know, you could take like barbering in third period. You know,
right?
So,
but
maybe if you had people like in here, like as like volunteers to get the haircut, by somebody, and it's not so much as a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really. I need to maybe talk to someone who knows, like a lawyer more, but like I haven't been able to put everything together yet.
But I like it. I like
it's
where you're
hard.
going with
It's
that.
hard partnering with the actual school. They don't just partner with you. You know, like they're by the book. You need like insurances and like an actual registered like legal
Nonprofit.
entity.
Yep.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's not out of the question. There's like a ton of resources. You just you
just got to find them. I just haven't put all the pieces together.
But I think that's solid. Maybe even with like Boys and Girls Club or something like that, like a rec center first, and then kind of branch out, because it just takes working with one group before like a school will be like, oh, okay, he's legit.
Yeah.
Let's do something.
He's worked with some people before,
right? And so
I never thought of it that way. Maybe like see if the rec center would let me like have like a night where I'll bring the Clippers, I'll bring the volunteers, and kids just come and fuck people's heads up.
And that's it, bro. Just you know what I mean. And you say it just like, hey, it's like youth cut night. Where they're just like these kids are just learning. Come get your hair cut by them, and you'd be surprised how many people are just like, yeah, whatever. I'll come out
some
and
people honestly can't afford a haircut.
Right,
haircuts aren't cheap anymore.
Right? Yep. So I mean, there's a ton of people I know that would do that, bro. That's just you just gotta
find that, connect the pieces. Well, I guess I just got to do a better job of connecting the dots with that. But I never thought about the rec center idea, how you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. It's just about who you know, and then those people know people, and then it just goes down from there, bro. You can even, like, if you had some kids that wanted to cut hair, like especially I work overnights at like the homeless shelters, the homeless hotels and stuff. They don't have people who come through and say, hey, we're gonna do haircut day, and we're gonna use the youth to cut people. They don't have stuff like that.
That'd be a cool place to start too, something like that.
You could set that up too, bro, where you're just like, hey, I want to bring these guys through. They're all volunteers, or they're all interns, and they're trying to cut hair, and we're giving out free haircuts.
I never thought about that. That's a good idea.
And if anything goes wrong, you could always just come through and clean it up.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's a free haircut.
It's a free haircut.
Yeah,
that's true. And a lot of them will come down, and you know what I mean? And that's how you get like the national coverage, because a lot of these places, the news comes down and they're like, what? The youth giving out haircuts to the, to the community, and then boom. You know what I mean?
I definitely stay with it, because you're onto something with that.
Yeah, I've been, things take a long time. People don't know I've been doing this podcast for 5 years.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like, they think it, I guess seriously, we've been recording every week for like about a year. Me and him more consistent now, but I started it about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, right?
Think so. Yeah, more or less 4 or 5, and then
4 or 5 years ago,
COVID happened.
It was just a goofy idea.
Yeah.
COVID came. I bought this fucking thing. Started talking shit on the microphone, and then I was like, I kind of like this.
But you've been consistent with it, bro, and that's really what it takes. Like, some people think things happen overnight, bro, and they don't. You know, sometimes they do, but it's like super rare. It's very rare. It's like hitting the lottery. It's rare. Yeah. But when you're consistent, then, you know, things change, and before you know it, you know, you have one of those podcasts where people are just like tuning in, you know, like crazy, and you're like, man, I went from just chilling to like, now I got to make sure I do this because people are wanting to hear what I'm going to do the next day or the next week or whatever.
Yeah. No, it does. It feels cool, man. Like, I've had like complete people out at the gym just like, hey, dude, I think I saw you on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like in the steam room. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you know, funny shit or cool shit. Or I pop up on like people's algorithms now that come here and cut their hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like intentional with the way phones work since we're all close to each other, but like it all pops up. You just got to keep uploading and uploading and uploading and uploading.
That's all you got to do.
Well, what I was telling George is I was checking out your stuff and I was really impressed. Like your edits, everything, even your content that you guys talk about. Like it's good, man. Like it kept me interested.
Yeah,
like,
and even all that, like editing, I'm still learning how to edit. Like I'm still learning.
I'm like barely like kind of dipping my feet into editing. You know, trying to do stuff like that, but. Yeah, it's
no. There's definitely some potential.
There's a science to all of it, you know. Like you got to learn what people at the moment keep their eyes on. Mm-hmm. Like it's literally like a fucking.
You gotta stay with the times.
Yeah, you got to stay with the times. Like certain edits, certain time frames, even certain uploads at a certain time of the day.
Oh, right. Yes, that's key. That is definitely key.
That too. And what you're talking about, what you say, keywords, you know, all of that. What you're
hashtags.
Hashtags are crazy how much they work, dude. I noticed a huge difference when I'm like kind of running lazy or in a hurry and I just upload something without hashtags versus when I put 100 hashtags on something, like it gets clicks right away, you know?
Right.
Yep. Yeah. There's a dude that does all of our videos for the team.
My boy.
And bro, shout out to Shot by Eli. This dude, I don't know what he does, bro, or how he does it, but he's gotten on his page just from our short videos of basketball, like 15 to 20,000 views in like hours. Right. You know what I mean?
And he figured it out. He knew how to do it.
Yeah, and he just and he'll send us. He'll like, hey, I just posted this, and then like a couple hours later, he'll send me a screenshot, and he's like, bro, you're 2 hours in, and you're at like 2,000 views, and I'm like, what?
Or is he investing in his promotion too? Because that helps.
Probably, I don't.
It sounds fucked up, but if you got money, you'll be on everybody's phone,
right?
That also
makes sense.
Yeah, but it plays a huge role too.
Yeah,
if he's putting some change in promotion, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
I for some reason am scared to do that yet, but maybe one day we'll start investing in more promotion.
I think, and a lot of it too, like when you look on like TikTok and stuff like that, they push it, and a lot of us we kind of, stray away from it. But honestly, I mean, it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told my whole life, bro. It takes money to make money. So.
I've heard that since I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you gotta, spend a little bit, and I've learned that with my businesses too, man. Just like investing in the team and spending money to, I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I'm going to spend this little bit of money. It seems like a lot right now, but what I'll get in return is going to be, way better than I could have imagined. So
sometimes just taking that risk is what holds some people back from doing great things. If you would have been scared to invest change in your company, look, you might never have been where you're at now.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It sucks too when because there's a lot of people out there, like you guys have undiscovered talent. There's a lot of undiscovered people that are in a specific situation in their life where like they can't afford to take that risk.
Yeah.
And they're being held back from probably maybe even something world alternating or life changing. And like, if you're living 9 to 5, you're barely making it. Fuck no, you're not going to invest like your savings into like a dream, quote unquote. If you got kids, you got mouths to feed, like it holds you back. It scares you, which is understandable because you could end up fucking in the dirt if you fuck it all up.
Right. Almost quick.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time, actually, is like how many hidden talents do people have that they don't even realize that they have?
Well, the world is just so random, too, because it's fucked up. It's really cool when you hear the story of the guy who had the hustle and he made it. Mm-hmm. But there's also guys who hustle their whole life and never fucking make it.
Right.
And that fucking sucks, too.
They drive themselves crazy trying to make it.
Yeah.
Well, what I found out a lot of it, man, is a lot of times we find out the secrets to how to be successful, and then we don't share it, right? Or the way we share it is, we put a price tag on it, and there's nothing wrong with trying to make that money or whatever. But like I learned the T-shirt game and how to print shirts and what it takes or whatever, and I get a lot of people asking me, and I could easily go on and be like, hey, I have this t-shirt course for $5.99 and, hit me up if you want. But really it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why do that? If you ask me, I'm going to tell you for free, and I hope you go and explode. I hope you go and blow up and have like the biggest t-shirt business ever. If I know the information, I'm just going to share it. I don't want to put a price tag on it. And I just feel like once a lot of us learn the information or we figure out how to be successful, then we turn it and we're like, okay, now how can I profit from my knowledge, on the next person? And then it's just like,
it gets watered down.
Yeah, it gets watered down. And then, it's like, man, if we just go out there and share what we know, bro, a lot of people probably wouldn't be as afraid to take that leap and could be successful at it. I think we're afraid of, there's so much, right now, how many companies sell bottled water? A ton,
yeah.
You know what I mean? A ton of them. And yeah, you could wake up tomorrow and be like, man, I don't know if I really want to, start this because there's so many, bottled water companies already. And so it's like, no, go do it. You know what I mean? There's money everywhere, and here's how to start your bottled water company. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you go do it, and then you blow up. I think we're just afraid of this person who's going to start this bottled water company now is going to take food out of my pocket or take money out of my pocket, and that's not the case.
No, it actually helps you.
It helps you, bro. It really does. So I think we just got to change our way of thinking when it comes to that.
I want to ask you on a fitness side, have you noticed any benefits on or pros or cons on spring water versus filtered water?
El Dorado all the way.
That's spring water as well, right?
Yeah. I know a lot of people talk about like what's in the water, and there's this in the water and that in the water, and this is slowly killing you and that's slowly killing you, whatever. There's more than just water that hydrates you. Mm-hmm. So I think we've been tricked into believing that, this is how you stay hydrated, because it's not.
Yeah.
You stay hydrated from like fruits and a lot of the things that you eat. So really, you could drink like 12 of these and still feel thirsty, and you can drink one small bottle of coconut water and be full. Yeah. And it's just because, those fruits and stuff have the other things that we need, like electrolytes and stuff that they try to put in waters, like, chemically, when you can get it from something like fruits and stuff naturally. So I don't really pay attention to if I'm thirsty, I'll just go drink a water. But if I'm trying to hydrate, then I'm not like, okay, what's in this? What's in that? No, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go get what I know is going to stop me from being thirsty or dehydrated. That's just kind of how I look at it.
You don't notice a difference in taste? I feel like I'm so used to spring water. When I taste chemical enhanced water, I'm like, this tastes like fucking soap, and it doesn't get rid of my thirst.
Or if you like drink Dasani that has salt in it,
yeah,
like you don't quench your thirst at all, because they make it that way. So then you keep buying it.
Well, it depends how they're doing it too, because I know like rehydration packs have salt in it too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
you got to have some. You have to have a little bit of salt in it. I think the only time I've noticed a big difference in the water I drink is if I get like an actual like filter, like a Brita filter or something like that, and I filter my water out. That's the only time I feel like I notice like a real difference, because I feel like you can put. It's weird, but I could give you this water and change the wrapping on it and put, fresh from the Alps, and you'll read it and your brain will tell you to think of it like this. And then you drink it and you're like, yep, this is straight from the Alps. And you're drinking the exact same water that this guy's drinking. And I watched this old show called Penn and Teller's BS, right?
Oh, I love it. Those guys are funny.
And they went into this fancy restaurant, and people are they're like, hey, do you want tap water or do you want this fancy whatever water? And they're like, well, you want to try it? And they're like, sure. And so they brought this fancy bottle out, and it said, French fine water or whatever. And then they gave them tap water, and they're drinking it like, this bottled water is the best. They were going out back and filling it up with the water hose in the back, and then cleaning up the bottle, bringing it in, and putting the sticker on it. And people are like, yeah, this is the best water ever. And it's just really, because they read and said it was like fancy water, their brain told them to taste it and to feel that, and that's what they felt. And
it's like Mike's secret stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think to the most untrained eye, because most people don't even fucking drink water, sadly.
Right.
But I was asking you because I feel like you drink a lot of fucking water, right?
Yeah.
Like I can tell when someone gives me fucking purified water versus any kind of spring water. I can tell. People don't like this quote unquote faucet taste.
Yeah.
This tastes like faucet water, but I fucking like it. I don't like
the reason you can taste the faucet water is because there's also all those pipes and everything that water has to be filtered through to come out the tap.
Yeah.
Like, because you've seen the videos where they show the pipes and all the stuff that builds up on the inside. So you think that your water's running through that. So you're obviously getting little micro particles that are in that you can't see to the naked eye.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's so distinguished between
I'm
filtered
old school,
water.
bro. I'm old school, so
I drank from the water hose, but now I prefer El Dorado. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a hot day and somebody turn on the water hose and I'm thirsty,
right,
I'm gonna get that water, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I just feel like we've gotten too far into like, you know, what's in this and what's in that. I mean, like a little bit of dirt here and a little bit of this here. That's what, you know, keeps us fighting off germs and being healthy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, well, when you look at like from the muscle structure and the skeletal structure of like pre-humans, how much like muscular dominant they were than us.
Yep.
They were fucking eating dirt, like fucking eating just like hunted animals. They were all kinds of shit, and they were like ripped as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and now we can't achieve that even with $1,000 of supplements a month.
Right. They went from picking fruit straight off a tree and just eating it, and now we're like picking it, and we got to dip it in this and wash it, you know, and you know,
spray it with this.
Yeah, and you're just like, you know, it sucks because like even right now people are like, "Did you wash your fruit?" And I'm like, "Nope." I just eat it, bro. And
just gotta eat it, but sadly, there is a lot of fucked up things in that fruit.
There is, but I feel like too, you know, with your body our bodies are amazing, bro. They really are.
They're really resilient. We've made them weak as a society.
We've made them weak, and so I stick to what I did as a younger kid. And I know things have changed, but I just feel like my body is strong enough to, you know, continue to fight and work how it's supposed to. So I don't even think about it because I don't even want to put that thought into my body as far as like, man, this could kill me, versus just like, it's apple, I'm gonna eat it and then I'm gonna keep it moving. You know, that's kind of how I look at it.
When you get to your size, even naturally, is this still a danger? Like with like organs, like you know how like the bigger you are, the harder your heart works. Obviously, the harder your lungs work. Yep. Is that still a big issue, or is it a big decrease since you did it naturally?
I think it's a big decrease since I did it naturally, just because my heart and my body are able to like kind of work in sync, you know, as things are going. I'm not forcing my muscles to grow faster than my heart can keep up with. And because I do full body everything, it's not like I'm just focused on one area of my body. It gives my heart and the rest of my organs enough time to kind of like keep up with. That's why when they tell you don't skip leg day, stuff like that, it's important because, you know, you build up that testosterone from there too, you know, doing legs and things like that, just figuring out like, okay, I need my legs in order to carry this torso. Yeah. And, you know, you don't want your heart pumping like crazy or your tendons working like extra hard to try to keep up. So you just kind of, and you do it slow, you know. Yeah. Naturally, it's a slower process than doing, obviously, you know, with the supplements and stuff, but still, man, you know, I'd rather do it that slow and steady, just because, like I said, my body was able to like, you know, keep up with itself. And so now I feel good, bro. I never go out there and just be like, man, you know, my heart's, you know, beating like crazy. You know, I never felt like that. So I always feel like really good. And every day I wake up and I'm just like, man, I feel good. And I'm glad that I'm doing it naturally. Yeah, I don't look like this dude over here who's like ripped to shreds and cut and just looks amazing, but I'm happy with the way I look. So I'm like,
but you're not even supposed to maintain that year round, huh? That's dangerous to be like that shredded, that big at the same time, plus shredded.
Yep, it is, bro, because you're just like, you're missing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're missing something.
So. It looks good, but you're quote unquote starving.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been to the doctor a few times and they're like, man, you're healthy. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know I'm not like ripped, you know, like crazy, but I'm healthy.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's important to me is my health, not just, you know, what I would look like in a magazine, or if I took my shirt off would people faint, you know what I mean? It's just more of like, am I healthy? Is my body good? Well, it's just
people don't understand too, when you look at it scientifically, it looks good, but you need body fat. You need body fat to support all that muscle underneath you. Yeah, like you could cut out all your body fat but you're gonna not feel good probably.
Yeah, you're gonna feel sick for sure.
Yeah,
your body needs something to feed off of. It needs that fuel. It needs, you didn't come out lean. You know what I mean? You came out fat. It's just like you're chunky. You're supposed to be. So, I like it. If you're comfortable with yourself, bro, and you feel healthy, that's what's important.
Oh yeah.
Not with the next guy. I learned this thing that they said when you look to your right and there's somebody that you want to look like, but the person on your left is looking at you because you're the person they want to look like. You know what I mean? So essentially, just feel good about what you look like and about yourself, and then.
Well, also the way that media is, like social media, it's mind fucked everybody. We all want to be this perfect sculpture. Yeah. All these girls want to have fat asses and huge tits.
Well, it's like it goes back to what he said. It's definitely just people comparing, comparing themselves to what the next guy has or looks like and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's the sad part is that's what these kids are growing up into. That's what they have to see. Like, so me being a parent myself, like I limit social media. Like my kids do not have a Facebook. My son is lucky to have Instagram, but it's monitored. But yeah, because I don't want them to have that image to feel like they need to live up to some sort of perception.
Oh, it's fucked up with kids. Like some kids literally commit suicide because of what they're taught online.
Yeah, because they feel like they can't keep up. They can't compete with what's going on.
And sometimes it's not even nowadays, especially with AI, it's not even real.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's just all edited. You're never going to look like that.
When I think it was the Supreme Court talking to Mark Zuckerberg and going in on him about if he was going to take accountability for all the kids that have killed themselves from social media and just everything, all the mental effects that it causes. It's really wild the kind of turn that our society has taken with social media.
Yeah. That guy's weird. I think he's an alien.
Yeah, he's weird. Yeah, no, I was watching him. Like, he doesn't make normal, like,
he doesn't ever blend in with humans.
He's like...
Or maybe he's just too damn rich.
He doesn't blink like
he's a reptilian.
Yeah.
Drinks water like a little fucking sieve, like every like.
And you don't even see the water go in his mouth. Just touches his lip.
I think it's one of those things where he's just faking it. He's like, yes, humans do drink this.
Right.
What if he's onto something? What if he knows that the best way to do it is like a little every fucking couple,
Never know, bro.
That's his lizard. Fucking
these guys don't even know.
The little prong tongue.
His little tongue just.
We just can't see it.
Right.
If we start mimicking his movements, then all of a sudden we gain like some years on our life, and we're like, shoot, this guy's been on to something the whole time.
I'm drinking my water like that for the next week. And see
just to see what happens. We're taking these big sips when we should be just taking like lizard licks.
Micro sips.
Yeah, maybe he knows and we don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys watch a lot of NBA too, or because I know sometimes when you're into something a lot, you don't watch the media. Does that make sense? Like I know, like I listen to a lot of boxers. I don't fucking watch boxing. Like, do you guys still follow like TV basketball, or is it just?
I do, just because I'm a fan of the game in general. Like I fell in love with basketball like at the age of 13, so everything about it I love. And
you like the players, you like all that.
And so now it's come to the level like where I'll sit with the team, we'll break down plays like, oh, they're in this kind of defense, they're running this kind of offense, and it's just kind of like keeping your mind sharp.
Yeah,
sharpening the tools. Like you're seeing like
well, you can actually understand what they're doing now.
Yeah,
like even just by foot position or what they're about to do.
Yeah, Kentucky's failing because they're playing all man. They should go zone because they like to drive.
Yeah,
make them shoot.
Yeah.
Like it's simple things like that. But like for me, like, and I look at certain players, like my number one team is the Nuggets, but I have certain players that I think are dope that are on other teams.
You guys have a designated coach, or is that something you guys all coach each other? Or?
So
do you want to go down that road?
It's a touchy subject. But
this is our owner coach.
Yeah.
So let's take the high road out on this one.
So right now I'm coaching the team, but I kind of let them coach themselves. You know what I mean? I make the adjustments where we need to, but I feel like, I mean, we're not an NBA team, and I feel like the guys have bonded enough to where there's a few guys that are kind of like the voice of the team, and they can kind of say, hey, this is what we need to do, and everybody kind of is like, but it's open to where guys are like, man, I noticed this and this is going on. I think we should really do this. And I'm like, well, let's give it a shot. So what I mean? Let's try it.
The way it started is like when we first started playing together, like we really, like some of us knew each other and another half didn't.
Just a rec team?
Yeah. So the rec team came in, and I wanted to bring the whole rec squad. Like, hey, let's just switch over to semi-pro and let's get it. And a lot of them were like, hey, I can't really, compete like that, or I'm nervous or whatever.
It takes dedication too and time.
It does. And so I took basically half the squad, transferred over. We held tryouts, and essentially what we did is before that happened, we got challenged by some semi-pro teams in Colorado because they saw us blowing up on social media as a rec team, and we're like, bro, we'll destroy anybody. It doesn't matter. And I was creating jerseys and shirts for the team as if we were already a semi-pro team.
And I had already done the tryouts for those teams, and I had made it just because of my situation and the dedication. I wasn't sure if I could do it. And then with us becoming a semi-pro team, I was like, oh, well, I have to do it because this worked out perfect.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So they challenged us. We went in as a rec team, and honestly, if they hadn't cheated us, we would have destroyed all the teams. But we beat a couple of the teams bad, as a rec team. And so I was like, yeah, it's time. And so we transitioned over. Only half of us came, and then we held tryouts, and that's how we got people from all these other semi-pro teams that are like, yo, you guys are dope, and you guys aren't even a semi-pro team yet. We want to be on your team.
Oh,
so
sick.
they were like, they dropped from other teams. Yeah. Like our small forward, the guy I'm talking about, Ray. Bro, he left the All-Stars to come to our team, and they had just won the championship, and he was the MVP of that team, and he was like, nope. He's like, I'm going to I Get Money.
And the funny thing is, like, when we played him, we hated him because he was such a beast.
Yeah,
like,
he was just
too good.
And he talked shit. And so when I came to tryouts, Mario was like, I need you to come to tryouts and see these players.
Yeah.
I saw Ray. I was like, oh, shit, we got him. I was like, word, let's go.
Yep. And I made it a point that and a lot of people didn't agree with me, but I made it a point that everybody who came to tryouts, I picked them up. I didn't tell them that at the time of tryouts, but everybody who showed up to tryouts, I put them on the team.
But, I mean, everybody that came to tryouts were dogs.
Yeah.
Like, there was nobody that came to tryouts that was a scrub.
Yep. We got a guy on our team who's a football player and has, like, not the greatest handles or whatever, but this dude is like an athlete of all athletes.
He's a mini Mario, just put it like that.
Basically, just imagine a guy my size that can jump out of the gym. You know what I mean? And just like double my speed, my same strength, double the hops, just like an upgraded version of me, bro, on the court. And people were not feeling him at first, and then once they got him in the game, it was just like, bro, he's solid. We need him,
Sick.
So now we have this, like, I call him, like, it's like a band of misfits, bro. Like, they all have their own separate talents, but then when you put them all on the same team, bro, we're just like,
It's the perfect puzzle.
yeah.
So what happens when you guys have a full team and this new talent comes? You got to make a phone call, let someone go?
Yeah, so like if someone reaches out and they're just like, hey, you know what? We got this, you guys got this guy on your team and we want him. We want him overseas. And so that person goes, and either, we bring somebody in for the next season, or we just kind of rock with what we got until.
Well, like, I say your team is full, but then you get the phone call like, hey, we got this kid. He's amazing, wants to join your team. Like, is that still like, we're full? Or how do you keep bench players and active? No?
We're full. I've turned down I don't know how many guys already that I know are solid. I know 100% they're solid, but I don't have space for you. And
I have to make a second team.
And a lot of guys have said that too. They're like, are you going to create another team? And I was just like, maybe have a team that plays here and a team that plays like more out of state or whatever. But I just feel like not right now, man. I don't mind saying no. You know what I mean? I don't mind saying no because I really want to focus on the guys that I have, make sure they get playing time or whatever. And I just know, like, along the way, people will drop off. People will not play the next season, or, things will happen. And so, like, right now, my roster is like 16 guys is what I have. But we don't all play at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have days where, like, that person can't make it. Yeah, like you're saying.
And that's the way he structured it. And he even told us, like, I'm going to have a big roster in case people can't make it. But the one thing I will say about Mario is he's a very loyal person to his players. Like, he never switches up.
But I'm sure you expect that from your players, too.
Yeah, I do. And, I mean, some of them are not as loyal as I would like them to be. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change my character. So I make sure I stay solid. And then The guys that stay solid around me are the guys that, you know, I kind of focus on. So hopefully that dude is around the next time. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to bring somebody on and be like, hey, this guy right here is going to be our superstar. Nah, because to me, honestly, like, I love every guy on my squad. You know what I mean? I don't have a favorite guy. You know what I mean? I love Jose to death. Jose, like, when we first started Rec, he was so nervous, like, bro, you know, I really want to rock with you guys, and I'm just like, bro, if I tell you you're on the team, you're on the team, bro. That's it. You know, I rock with you. If I say, hey, you rock with us, that's it. Unless you do something dirty to make me be like, man, I can't mess with you, I rock with you.
Let me
give
some context to that, because he was so serious about even his rec teams. He was cutting people from the rec teams. And so he would come to me and be like, so how do you feel about this person coming back? And then I'm sitting there thinking in my head, like, shit, is he having these conversations about me? So I hit him up one day. I was like, yo, Mario, if you ever cut me from the team, you better text me and tell me why. Like, yeah. But no, he's been solid with me, man. Like, and we met at the rec. Like, it was really random. We ran together, and I'm a shooter. So, and he has a big body, so he was setting screens for me, and nobody's getting through that.
Yeah.
So I was, and all I need is open space, and I'm gonna sink it. And yeah, it was from that, and then it was just like, hey, why don't you come play with us? I played a few games, and it was like, hey, why don't you rock with us? And I've been rocking with I Get Money since.
Ever since. And every player has like good days and bad days or whatever, right? And I don't base, you know, me keeping you on the team off of like having a bad day. It's based on more than that. It's based on like
attitude.
Your attitude. Like, are you showing up to practice? Are you showing up for the team? You know what I mean? Are you leaving us hanging? Do you only show up for championship games? Do you know what I mean? Like where's your heart at? You know, is your heart like, hey, I'm loyal to the squad, or am I just loyal to only myself? And so, like you said, I've cut a few guys, like, not from semi-pro yet, but from the rec leagues, just because, you know, you show up when you want, or you show up and you expect to stay on. One of my best guys, his name is Martin. Love Martin to death. I've been hooping with Martin probably for like the last 5 or 6 years.
Shout out Martin.
He's been on every single team that I put together except one season, and because he wouldn't sit down, he was hurt, and
he didn't want to stop playing.
And he didn't want to stop playing.
He's a certified hooper, man. So he loves the game so much that even if he's injured, he's going to find some way to play.
Yep.
And it's like, it got to the point where we talked about it. It was me, you, and Los, and we're like, we got to make Martin sit down.
We have to make him sit down.
We need him. And we can't have him out there limping and possibly injuring himself where he can't play with us the next season.
Yeah. So I started a new season, and he wasn't on the roster, and he was like, man, I feel some kind of way about that. And I was like, don't. You know, I still love you, but it's more about, you know, I care about you being hurt and being able to play 100% versus, you know, you just out here, you know, playing at like 40%, you know, and then you tear something up, and now you can't
not recovering from that too,
and that was the problem. He wasn't giving himself proper time to recover, because when he's 100% healthy, he's solid, he's one of the best people on the court.
Yeah. So, I mean, I look at everything for every guy. So, again, to answer your question, like, I would consider if somebody came to me and was like, hey, I have the next superstar, but if that means that I have to drop one of my other guys, or now I'm shining all the spotlight on just one guy, I won't do it.
Do you also ever, like, since you become close to your team, do you also, like, teach them stuff outside of basketball, like the skills you have, the branding, the business of what you do?
So whoever asks me, you know, whoever reaches out to me and they're like, hey, I'm trying to create this, or I'm trying to do that, like Ray, we talk about Ray a lot, but so my supplement brand, he's going to be one of my ambassadors for that, just because, you know, he's really working on like his fitness side, you know, versus just only basketball. And then I have had guys to reach out to me and just ask me like, hey man, I want to become this, or I'm trying to do this. Can you know, do you have any tips on that? And I'm just like, yeah. And I don't mind sharing whatever knowledge I have. Even if you're trying to buy a house, you know what I mean? I know some tips about that. And if you happen to mention it, I'm just like, hey, well, don't do this, do that. You know, whatever information I have, and if it's relevant to what you're trying to do, I'm going to share it for sure.
You ever feel like you get like emotionally invested, like the Papa Bear role? Like I ask because sometimes here with like people I hire, I want to see them all do things, and it frustrates me when I see them like be lazy or even aside from it affecting me financially, I'm just like, why don't you just do this? Like, why don't you just do that? Like, or when I give them advice and like I walk them to the water, but they don't fucking drink.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, does that happen to you since you like?
Shit, you do it for me.
Not really. I feel like.
No, hold on. Let me cut you off real quick. So all right. So here's the thing. So I play rec ball, and I can easily be one of the best players on rec team, but that doesn't really translate to semi-pro because there's a lot of stuff that comes into effect as playing part of a unit, you know, and knowing where to be on certain plays. And when we first started, I was down myself. I was like, can I play at this level? And Mario pulled me to the side. He's like, no, you're here for a reason and you can hang. And honestly, once he did that, opened that door for me, like it totally changed my game and how I play. And now I feel like I just gel. Like I'm now locked in. Now he pretty much opened up a new level for me.
Oh yeah.
I guess I never really look at it like that.
Because you're too humble, bro.
I try to do my best to encourage, you know what I mean? And I try to separate it, like hopefully, you know, they listen to me and you know, and go and be great. But I guess I don't really look at it to see, you know, how it affects me. You know what I mean? I'm just more of like, if I see it and like Jose, for example, and he was just like, man, I can't keep up. And I'm like, hell no, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you can keep up. You just got to keep up. That's all you got to do. Just get out on that floor and make things happen. And I guess I've talked to each one of them like that. And I guess I don't really get disappointed when they don't do it. I just feel more like it's my responsibility to just make sure that that they know that I believe in them. So maybe they just continue to just, you know, do their thing. And if they don't, I kind of feel like that's on you. You know what I mean? I can give you everything I got. And then, you know, if you don't use it, I'm just like, man, I tried to give it to you.
That's all you can do.
You know? And so like with Jose, I'm like, I tell him, and if he goes out there and he plays like a bum, I'm just like, man, I told you you're better than that, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
I don't let it really beat me up, I guess. But I do feel a sense of like proud, like especially like when we won the tournament, you know what I mean? Like I was really proud, and it's just because like it's hard to lead a group of grown ass men.
Yeah.
You know? And so, you know, you got a bunch of grown men following one grown man, you know, and you're like, hey, grown men, listen to me, and we're gonna make it, you know.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping, like, you walk away and you're just like, man, I hope these grown men are, you know,
fucking listening.
Yeah, and it just makes you feel a certain way to just know, like, when you watch them, and a lot of the guys on the team respect me, which I appreciate 100%. But I respect all of them too, you know. But there's a level of respect that they have for me, and so I try not to mess up that respect that they have. You know, I try to make sure that I carry myself a certain way. So when we won the championship, like, one guy was like, "You're about to cry, huh?" And I was like, "Shut up, bro." Like,
this is my big softie.
Yeah. So, cause I was just like, man, it was just like amazing to have made it that far with all of these guys. And I was like, man, I'm really emotional about this, but, you know, I'm proud that all of these guys respected me enough to listen, and we look where we made it. You know what I mean? And so, like, yeah. So I guess, you know, I do feel a certain kind of like Papa Bear type deal.
Yeah, the Coach Carter moment.
Yeah, you know, and then being the oldest, you know, as well, and you know, being 43, even though I don't feel 43, but being 43 and just being like the oldest guy out there and being like, all right, guys, you know, and everybody's like, yeah, you know.
All right, so this is how I can say you are Papa Bear. So whenever something goes wrong in a game and he doesn't feel it's right, he's the first one to be talking shit to the refs, the other team, the players. The shit you say. What was the shit you were saying to the New Mexico team? He was like, that's what was it? The 2 weeks? What the 2 week shit?
So there was some players out there on court. We were in New Mexico earlier this year, and it was our first game as a team together. And the refs were killing us, man. Like I just feel like they were killing us. But there are some players where I'm just like, once I get passionate about something and I'm in it. So I'm like heckling the hell out of their players.
Mad shit.
there was a guy who was just like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. And he's flexing on the court, and I just kept yelling out, he's 14 days.
Yes,
he's 14 days. And everybody's like, 14 days? I'm like, yeah, he's too weak. And so the whole team were like, bro, you're insane. Like, and I just feel like if I say it, that way the team doesn't have to say it. You know what I mean? And so then my team hears me like, man, Mario's fired up, so let's stay fired up. You know what I mean? And they go out there.
But you keep it funny, too, like that. Like Kevin Hart, when he was like, his knees ain't real. You
know,
like,
bro, our game on Sunday, we were already up by 50 points. And he's all telling the other team, he's like, come on, keep going. You guys might come back. I was like, God damn, Mario.
They were down by like 50 with a minute left. And I was like, hey, guys, don't give up. Don't give up, bro. You guys can still come back. And they're like, bro, Mario, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what? I'm just trying to show support.
I'm over there like, you're an asshole.
One guy might have gone home and beat his wife because of that.
Pulled a Patrick Wall real quick.
You played good, honey. Get the fuck off of me, bitch.
I'm telling you, dude, in New Mexico, there was this tall white guy. He was playing so soft. And for the rest of the game, I called him Marshmallow. And I kept saying it so much that his fans and his team started calling him Marshmallow. And he got off the court and didn't know why everybody was calling him Marshmallow. So it was just like, you could see in his face, he's like talking to his team. He's like, why is everybody calling me Marshmallow?
That might be his new brand. He might still be Marshmallow.
And everybody's like, and so I'm just like, he's a Marshmallow. He's a Marshmallow. And then his team is like, it's okay, Marshmallow. You can do it.
That's his nickname to this day.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do that a lot. Sometimes I get carried away, but I'm passionate about not the game, but just my people. You know what I mean? My team. I'm just like, bro, don't disrespect my team. Don't disrespect my guys. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, these are my guys. So I feel like I'm the first line of defense when it comes to.
And to see this guy mad, and I will always talk about this story. So we're playing in a game, and I started it because I was sitting there chirping at somebody because he was pissing me off, and I'm talking shit. And he goes, hey, calm down. It's not that serious. And then he said the magic word to piss you off, and then I was more worried about if we were going to have enough people to hold you back.
What did you say?
So
you got to take the wheel on that one.
So it was one of our rec games, and I always try to keep everybody's tempers kind of, because I'm just like, I tell everybody, I'm like, bro, just walk. You know what I mean? We don't need to talk, just walk, because that'll show everything every single time. And so this dude was like, he's like my size pushing around Jose, and he's just like, and I'm just like, bro, he's smaller than you. Like, cut that out. And Jose's like, bro, I'm just like, bro, just, you know what I mean? He's picking on you because he's bigger.
I was giving him buckets, though.
Yeah, and we were hooping. So it was just like, I'm like, they're mad because we're killing them right now. So, like, just, So then we sub out. I get on the court. And one of the worst things to call a black guy outside of the N-word is boy. And, the first one I let slide. I was like, I told him real nice. I was like, hey, man, don't say that. That's not cool, bro. And he's like looking at me, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. And then he comes down, he makes another layup. He's like, yeah, boy. And I was just like, hey, I know the difference between like saying boy in this way or boy this way.
Now, it wasn't like, yeah, boy.
No, I'm like, man, he's really sticking to boy, right? And I'm just like, I said, bro, stop it.
Yeah.
And so he did it again, and I lost it. And so now I'm just like, hey, you want me to show you? And so I said, don't worry about it. And the whole team's like, Mario. And I'm like, no. He's done. It's over. I said, now we're not playing basketball. We're going to play what Mario wants to play. And he wants to play with a boy. I'm going to show him right now. And so I'm just like, I'm going in on this dude. And, the refs came out or whatever, and it changed the whole like attitude of the game.
Everybody was so humble, like, hey, I'm sorry, let me help you out.
The rest of the game, I've never seen anybody so nice to each other, bro. It was like the craziest thing. They were getting fouled, and the other team was like, my bad, like helping people up. And so the ref pulled me to the side. He's like, hey, man. He's like, man, you just changed this whole dynamic of this game. I said, no, what did I do? And he's like, you know what you did. And I was like, what? I just wanted him to stop calling me boy. And he's like, now look at everybody. He's like, I've never seen a more polite game in my life.
You swore we at the YMCA.
Bro, it was like it was like the nicest game ever. And when we started the next season, some of those players came back and they see me and they were just like, hey, man. And I'm just, you know, like, I remember you. I don't hold a grudge, you know, but I'm just like, hey, you know, just be respectful, bro. That's it. That's
and it didn't help that guy looked like a redneck motherfucker. So.
Yeah, and I mean, their team was like, they all had like feathered bangs hair, and they were all wearing like the headbands, and you know their hair was like blowing in the wind. It was just it's one of those teams, bro, where you're just like, you know, like a shampoo commercial team.
The 17 again squad.
Yeah, you're just like, you know,
maybe
like,
it's Maybelline.
Like, bro, when you're that kind of team and you look like, you got to be careful the words you say. You know what I mean? Because it comes off different when you look like that versus like, you know, somebody that grew up around black people or something like that, and you can just, you know how to conduct yourself.
Shout out Martin.
Who's that player, bro?
Shout out Martin.
Who's that basketball player? I don't know if this is like new, but I just saw a clip of it. He's like a NBA player. He's going through some emo shit. He's got like his hair.
Are you talking about Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
No, dude, he's a troll. He's
just trolling.
That was just funny.
But that shit's hilarious. Because the reason
funny,
he
bro.
does that is because that's when they get their pictures taken, and that's what gets shown throughout the season.
Oh.
So yeah, so he was doing it to be a smart ass, and that's why I like Jimmy B.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Hey man, before we start recording, I heard you wanted to put your one of your partners or something. You want to talk about him before we start recording?
Oh yeah. So one of our major sponsors is GBL Studios, and that's where I take my boys to go and like record there. So like I was talking about their music, they do Christian rap. So it's one of the only studios that I've taken them to where they do work with, you know, all the Colorado artists and artists from kind of all over the place, man. I've met so many people through GBL Studios, but it's where I take my boys to go down and like really record their stuff, and they do a good job. So GBL Studios is off of 14th and Oneida in Denver, and this guy Mike, he kind of has his hands in everything, bro. Like, he has like an event center, he has like this, you know, like a really dope studio, then he has a boutique where like local artists that have like clothing lines and stuff like that can come and put their stuff in his store. And you know, he just the other day I went and helped him with security, and I met Charlie Clips from Wild 'N Out, and I'm just like,
oh, shit.
Bro, like, you know, like, how do you know this dude, you know? And he knows so many people. So when I reached out to him and was just like, hey man, we need a sponsor for, you know, for the squad, we're trying to get sponsors, but people ain't really feeling us, you know. And he was kind of like, at first, like, you know, semi-pro. And I was like, bro, just come watch us play. You know what I mean?
It takes one game for you to become a fan.
Yeah, and you come out and you're like, holy crap, you know what I mean? So he didn't even come to the game. He started watching our videos on our Instagram, and he's like, bro, you guys are dope. And I was like, yeah, man, I've been trying to tell you that for a long time. And then he's like, okay, boom, I'm in. So shout out to Mike with GBL, because he was like, bro, you know, whatever it takes. So he's been helping us with like a lot of these games don't have a reason for people to come watch, right? So if I just walked up to you and was like, hey, bro, you should come watch the semi-pro game, it's like $5 to go watch, and you're just like, to go watch what?
Yeah.
You know, some guys play basketball. I'll go hoop myself, you know? So it's like, how do we get people to come out and watch us and get it blown up? So because of him, and he comes with a lot of attention, he has like some dope local R&B artists or rap artists. So we've been doing like halftime shows where he'll bring one of his artists out or one of the DJs that he knows, and like basically turn our regular semi-pro game into like something where people can come and like catch a halftime show and hear some dope music and then watch a dope game. So
make it like a full event.
Yeah. So like now we went from just being like a regular semi-pro team to like a semi-pro team that has, you know, some halftime
food
shows.
Vendors. We have merchandise. But real quick, old girl wasn't part of the Christian rap scene from the halftime show, was she?
No, she was.
I was
not,
gonna
bro.
say,
So that's the thing with the studio, because you kind of, as a studio, you just kind of take whoever's doing music, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh, you want to come in and produce some music? Fine. You know, we have an engineer for that, or we have an engineer that specifically deals with, you know, like Christian artists or engineers that are just like, hey, I'll work with whoever. And so she just happens to be one of those artists that she's from Washington.
Okay, so, I said that was definitely not Christian at halftime show.
I swear, like, this halftime show we just had yesterday, bro, it was like the worst halftime show ever. And
like WAP?
Yeah, it was, and she was solo, and so
she comes out in lingerie.
Yeah,
like, my mom was there. She was like, I could see her.
You said $5?
Yeah, exactly, bro. It was like I was super embarrassed, but I was just like, man, I didn't know. You know, you kind of hope that, you know, you get somebody that's dope, but just this turn. And I told him about it too, because I train him in the gym as well. I train our sponsor, and I said, hey man, what the hell was up with that girl that you said, bro? And he was like, I heard, man, I'm so sorry. I was like, bro, don't ever. I said, she was in lingerie, my guy, and slides. I said, what? I was like,
lingerie, sweats, and slides.
Oh, yeah, bro, man. It was like crazy. And he was like, man, did you pay her? I said, no, I didn't pay her. He's like, good. And I'm just like, nah, bro. I was like, that was reckless, man. And so, but he's a good dude, and GBL Studios is somebody good to, you know, to be connected with, bro. And they do a lot of stuff with the youth too. He has a program coming up similar to what you're trying to do with the haircutting. He's trying to open a studio up to kids who maybe trying to make music or whatever, and so he's gonna have like this whole program going where they can come in, and if they have music they wrote or whatever, and just get in the booth and just
see what happens,
and then like send them home with a thumb drive or a CD where they can just hear themselves and how they sound, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
And get inspired to be like, man, yeah, I sound terrible, or be like, you know what, that was dope, you know what I mean? Now I'm gonna keep going because I do sound good in there, you know? And so
you'd be surprised what a studio can do, man. Even Ryan Garcia's songs sound cool.
Yeah, for real, right? For real.
The bars are a little weak, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, he does.
It's produced nice.
So if you guys ever get a chance, man, just GBL stands for Get Busy Living. That's what his brand is. So if you guys ever get a chance, bro, just link up with him. They always, I think at the beginning of this year, they had like some old school artists come out, like the Loonies, some old school, like
Do or Die.
Yeah, man. Just like all these old school cats came out, and they threw this huge show at the Stampede. So, and then he's mixed in with boxing as well. So he's really good friends with shoot, I forget the name. Pound for Pound Boxing. So he's kind of mixed in everywhere, bro. So he's a solid dude to know. So I mean, even with you trying to get like your haircut and stuff done with the kids, man, he might be able to plug you in. So
I'm going to talk about that. Yeah,
it's like I said, it's just
sometimes when you know, yeah,
you know. So I like I said, I met I don't know how many people through him. I even had because I did so much security with him and just hung around him, I was able to like link up with other security. And when Wu-Tang came out, we were Wu-Tang's personal security when they were here in Denver this year.
That's dope.
And I was like, you know, I'm standing next to Method Man and we're talking about working out. And I'm like, no one in the world will believe me right now that I'm talking to this dude. And I didn't take any pictures because it's just like, you know, you don't pull your phone out while you're talking to him. But it's just like, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, and I'm doing shoulders and it's this, and this. He's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? And I was like, he's talking to me. And I was like, yeah, you gotta, you know, he's like, exactly, bro, that's what I'm talking about. So he's just like, I'm just like, yo, this is ridiculous. And then
it's surreal, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy. And just riding in the van with Ghostface and all of them, and they listen to like old music, like old school music, and they just sit back and they vibe and they're just like smoking weed, and then they argue like brothers, you know what I mean? He's like, Method Man thinks he's cool, he ain't shit, you know. So it was dope. So just being able to like meet them and then just go down the line, and I was working at Cervantes for a while just because I was connected with here. So just, you know,
that's the place a lot of artists go to that I've met. Cervantes,
yeah,
bro. That's a really popular venue here.
Right now, I'm waiting for Jacques' manager to hit me back to see if they're going to bring me on tour to do security with them. And that's just only because of the line of people that I met along the way and that I knew. So, but Cervantes is a solid place to go to and, you know, and meet a lot of people and a lot of artists, bro. And a lot of people that go to Cervantes, like a lot of the artists are really like down to earth and will just come chop it up with you, bro. Yeah. Just, you know, you're just like, man, I'm talking to this dude and I didn't, one of my favorite local artists, his name is Jacob. And this dude, I think everybody sleeps on him. He's this young Hispanic kid and he hoops at Vasa. Nobody knows he's a rapper. Nobody knows nothing about him, bro. But he's like, when he hits the stage, like if you know he's a rapper, you know he's a rapper. But other than that, you could walk by him on the street and you wouldn't even know him. But he's like one of the dopest dudes ever. And just the fact that he'll be on stage one day and then at Vasa the next day, like hooping with all these guys, and you're just like, damn, bro, that's dope, you know?
I'm going to link up with you about him. I like interviewing rappers and musicians. I don't know if you've seen any of our clips, but I've interviewed a couple.
I'll definitely give you his information, bro, because he's dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, man, well, shit, dude, an hour and a half flew by. Hey, man, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you, man. I like your energy. You give off good vibes.
No, this was
I've
dope,
already
bro.
met you before.
I'm for sure going to go to one of y'all's games soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like
come through.
I have my
19th.
kids now, and I want to take my, you know,
May
my kids.
May
always
19th?
Yeah, May 19th.
That's a
is
Sunday, right?
Yep, it's our next game.
Cool.
And I think it's going to be like the last like game because I think the rest of the stuff's going to be tournaments, and then I'm gearing up to start our next season right away in like September, October. I had the New Mexico owner reach back out to us and it's like, hey, we're coming back out. We're ready to, because we traveled there, so they're going to come travel here to play against us. And we're going to start the preseason again, like October-ish, you know. But yeah, May 19th, I'm reaching out to a couple of performers. There's like this dance group for these young kids that I want them to come do the halftime show. And there's like another local rapper that I'm trying to get to come out to the show. So May 19th is going to be a big one. It's going to be a big blowout. We're going to have her name is Kizzy. We're going to have Kizzy's Kitchen come out, or Kizzy's Cuisine. She does everything, bro, from tacos to chicken. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be big. So I'll make sure you guys are tapped in and get a flyer and stuff like that. And come
man. I'm going to take my kids too. My kids like basketball.
Yeah, they'll love it, bro. I mean, we put on the show. If you want to see some alley-oops and some high-fly dunks and some stuff like that, come to the show, I mean,
man. Even just our layup line before games is pretty exciting. You got some dudes doing 360s. Like, I'll go put it through my legs off the backboard to, like, say, my boy D'Lo Tola. Mo, who's freaky athletic. Like, he has bunnies like you wouldn't even imagine.
Crazy.
He'll throw it off the wall, catch it, put it through his legs, dunk it. Like,
it's
we're exciting. So we're exciting before we even play the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to put you through with one of my clients, bro. One of my clients, he cuts it with a couple barbers here, but he started a rec team, and the last final they ended up in second or third place. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna be on your team, but maybe you just be able to link up, and maybe you even ran into him at fucking rec centers.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, shit. I hoop all throughout the city. I go from Montbello to Brighton to Commerce City to my area, Wheat Ridge, Arvada. Like, I'm anywhere that there's somewhere to hoop, I'll be there. So you
don't ever do it like on the. You don't ever make videos where you show up like a nerd, like, "What's up, guys? Can I play with you?" And
dude, I've seen those videos and I've kind of debated it, bro. But
that'd be awesome, dude.
He's gonna do it. I feel like Jose has like some hidden talents that he hasn't like fully figured out yet. And so I will say, if anybody's consistent at something, Jose is really consistent at basketball, bro. So I mean, he's traveled to LA to go hoop or whatever, to Cali to go hoop, and every time I see him, anytime he posts anything, if it's not like him and his kids, it's him and hooping. You know what I mean? So if anybody's gonna do something like that, I could definitely see Jose, you know, going out there and dressing up like he just got off of work at McDonald's or something and hooping someone up, you know?
Man, I just love the game, man. It's been my therapy since a young age. So
consistency is key, man. That's how you got to do it. Hey. Well, man, ladies and gentlemen, we've had another great episode. If you haven't seen them, we're going to tag all of them, all their social medias, all little clips from their games. I want to see what your tank looks like. We're going to put a little picture of them on here. And hell yeah. And I'll link your fitness if you still do fitness for other people, right?
Yep.
We'll link all that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you guys. Let's give a round of applause.
Hey,
Thank you guys. Hell yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Good to meet you, man.
Too, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
Ooh, shout out George.
I forgot to mention George put this all together, man.
That's right.
Yeah, George, get
Shout
in
out,
the camera.
shout out the boy George.
Get over here. This is my barber right here. It's my boy George.
Hell yeah, George. We miss you. We cry about you every day.
He's coming back.
One day he'll be back. They all come back.